Alright, today could be a really fun video. Today we might be able to, if all things go right, we might be able to drive the stretched S10 today. Went and picked up this BOP transmission off Marketplace for like a couple $100. This is a converter I had laying around. It is the right length so that all we have to do is pull this, well actually it's not going to be out at all. This will mate right up to the rear end. He went and picked up a bastard U-joint earlier from Napa, and it seems to work perfect. So, if all things go right, yeah, for a change, if all things go right, we might actually be able to move this thing under its own power. It'll be the first time in probably a decade this thing's actually moved under its own power.
Yeah, that would be for sure.
I'll be honest, I don't think I've even sat in this thing yet.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass getting in and out with that bar there.
We need to cut that door bar out. I might do that here in a second. The cage up here, it's all MIG welded, but it's all proper cage, you know? Everywhere else, you know, like a good main hoop, good down bars, good halo, all that, totally fine. But this door bar is just like Schedule 80 pipe. So that definitely has to come out. And this harness bar really needs to come out. But I promise you guys, the rest of the cage itself is totally fine. Some of you might be curious why we got a BOP transmission. This has a mid plate, so we just drilled it out and we're going to use it as an adapter. So this is just one of the cheapest, hopefully good transmissions that we could find. Should work. He already got that drilled out earlier or yesterday. So all we got to do is put a couple bolts through that.
Yeah, gotta cut them spots out.
Yeah, we got to notch the back of the block.
Why in the hell is that damage there?
That's always done that. But yeah, where a couple of the bolts for the BOP bell housing land, we just have to take the angle grinder and notch the block out a little bit. It's not a big deal. I've done that a few times. Yeah, you can see, because I don't know why GM decided it was a good idea to make a Chevy bell housing and then a BOP bell housing. But you can see here's the Chevy bolts and then the BOP ones there, and then they've got two more up here. Alright, much better. I think it's probably doing more harm than good. I respect it. I don't want it, but I respect it. Got the door bar cut out. He got the nuts welded to the now adapter plate. So we're just about ready to stab the transmission in it. Yeah, we gotta cut this off because on the transmission it lands like right here. So we'll cut this off, bolt it to the transmission. When we set it in, we'll just melt it in real quick. I'll get that cut out. Having some minor technical difficulties. Well, if we pull the dowel pins out, we can get the back in first and kind of drop the front in.
Slide it down in there.
Yeah, we'll give that a try. Alright, it worked. Smacked the dowel pins out, lifted the front up, got the back in place, and just dropped the front right back down. So.
You need to lower it a little.
Yep. Alright, now we're going to get this all bolted up, get the shifter hooked up, tranny lines. Still have to figure out something for the spout, not really spout, but the fitting for the water pump. Gotta find a piece to extend that, because right now where the thing for the water pump comes out for the lower radiator hose, you can't get a hose on it or a clamp or anything because it's so close to this balancer. So that's actually over at my place because it's aluminum. So we need to find a piece of like 1-inch, somewhat thick wall aluminum piping so I can extend it. At least now it's not completely seated, so that when this thing does start wheel hopping like crazy, it doesn't smash it into the tail shaft. Alright, big news. We got everything all bolted in. The yoke and everything's all tightened up. Fits pretty good. At first we couldn't roll the wheels over. Something was binding up, so we're loosening the motor plate bolts. When we loosened the ones for the mid plate, both sides of the frame came in like, this side looked like almost an inch.
Yeah.
And
It's like, what the hell?
yeah, we couldn't roll it over at all, so now it seems to be good. Letting things settle now, and then just need to get back to hooking up all the little miscellaneous trash. And even if it's just around the yard for now, we should still be able to drive this thing around by the end of the video. Alright, this thing's starting to look like a truck thing, a truckster. So I found a piece of aluminum that would work, and I cut and extended the fitting for the water pump. We got the trans mount welded up, so that's good. We got the trans cooler in place. Should work pretty well there. And Pop's just finished up the shift linkage. Seems to work really well. Goes into park and neutral just fine at least. So we're hoping that, you know, first, second, third reverse work too. That's up because the shifter is backwards. Not really backwards, but it's a rear exit. So you can see that for into park, instead of pushing the cable, it pulls the cable here. So we're basically just some transmission fluid, some gear oil, and a lower radiator hose and water away from, hopefully, moving this thing around. So after we get the lower hose taken care of, we'll run and get some fluid for it, and then probably jack the rear end up, fire the truck up, and put it in gear, see if it goes through them all just fine. Alright, well, got the hose on.
Well, something tells me it's got that third hole underneath,
Yeah.
and this doesn't have the thing.
Yeah.
So I've got to tear all that shit back off.
Yeah, so you can see on this one how there's like this lower section on the electric pump here. It's not blocking it all. Just got back. You can see got the hole all welded up and ground down. Give the block a healthy layer of RTV. Also picked up some gear oil for the rear end. This close. It's just about time. We think we got pretty much. I was thinking about that earlier. I was going to ask in a second. But we think we got everything figured out. Got the water leak, you know, knock on wood, got it fixed. Still got to check the transmission fluid. There's a good bit in it, but we'll check it once it fires up. Filled up the rear end. He just hooked up the battery. I think we got brakes. I don't know. You'll find out real quick.
Yeah, you're a big leak first.
Alright, moment of truth.
to bolt the damn torque converter up to the flywheel. I just thought about that. It's like...
I checked that yesterday too, to make sure it spun freely.
Yeah, I looked at it today, and it's like, okay, we got plenty of room, but we got to
space it.
Space it. Boy, fucker's running like shit.
And then I took a step back and stepped on the bucket.
Yeah, I seen that.
I don't know.
It gave me a little smile.
Yeah, I bet. I don't know what idiot put that there, but Jesus. They need to get their asses kicked. Alright, I just tightened up the torque converter. Actually bolted it up now, so hopefully now the truck actually moves. Take 2. Transmission leak.
Not bad.
It would have gotten a lot worse. Hopefully it just needs to be snugged down some more.
Fuck, I couldn't figure out why the damn thing wouldn't start rolling over. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Get him, Duke. It's probably in the carb.
Yeah, that fucking carb sucks. Just say, fuck, you know, that train's floating, the train's back here.
Hey, first drive.
Hey.
Success. Wow. I know those tires are dry rotted as hell, but I'm surprised it actually turned them, to be honest. And it sounded like it didn't want to shift. Like you could hear it breaking up. I think it was valve floor. It sounded like it didn't want to shift. That thing's got to be getting warm by now. That radiator placement's not really the best. There he comes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, I don't know if you guys could see it on camera, but a couple bolts flew off that thing. I don't know what they were, but I'm worried that they were the converter bolts. I think there might have only been one left in the thing. I don't see any anywhere, but I definitely saw them fly off. Oh, yep. Yep, converter bolt. No, I don't know what this is. I thought this was one of the washers I used as the spacer, but I don't know what this is actually. Yeah, I thought it was the converter bolts that came out of it at first.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was gonna look at.
But here's the one of the washers. You recognize this? Unless it was just sitting on top of it.
Laying on the frame and everywhere.
Must be. Aside from the shifter, how'd it feel?
When you turn it, the front wheels are hitting the body.
What?
Yeah, when you turn it.
Yeah, this side does look like it's in a ways. Well, cool.
It's fucking wicked because you can't see through this fucking window to back up, so I'm trying to look out these little holes. And I can't roll the window down because it falls off track. And I couldn't see shit out the damn fucking mirror. Like, damn. Need a fucking spotter out here.
Just gotta be forward thinking. Still a lot of bugs to work out, but I'd say overall, huge success. It's been about a decade since this thing's ever driven. We know for sure it's been sitting where we got it from for about a decade, so this thing should be fun. Hope you guys check out future videos with it. Go back, watch some of the other videos where we picked it up and started throwing it together. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell. We'll see you in the next one.